All righty. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. This is Katie. Welcome to Friday's Deep Stretch Workout. Reminder to listen to your bodies today. Do what feels good. Don't push any stretch that feels bad or hard. And keep some water nearby. Let's get stretching. Let's go ahead and find our way to our mats. We're going to be standing to start. Get our body temperature up before we get into some deeper stretching. So starting in that neutral standing position with our toes forward, feet under hips, we're just going to do some arm swings. So I'm going to have you take both arms, inhale, reach them both high overhead, and then exhale as you swing them down and back behind your hips. And go ahead and repeat that movement. You can add a small bend in the knee, kind of a knee bounce, knee pop, as you swing the arms up and back. Go ahead and continue that motion, getting the breath going. And you can take whatever pace you want with these arm swings. You can make them nice and slow, or you can be faster on the downswing, however feels good. All right, let's go into some gentle leg swings next. I'm going to go ahead and mute some folks and get some background noise. Lovely. So for our leg swings, if you want to keep a chair or use a wall, something stationary nearby for a little help with your balance, or you can just do it from standing with your hands on your hips. We'll start on the right leg, and I just want you to gently swing your right leg forward like you're kicking a ball and backwards. So just kind of letting the hip be loose and just swinging that leg forward and backwards. A little bit of balance, but it's also similar to that arm swing, just letting the femur be loose in the socket, swinging forward and backwards. And let's go ahead and switch, get into that left leg now. Left leg swings, gentle leg swings. Don't need to go super high with the leg. Just once again, feeling the hip, letting it be loose. And let's go ahead and pause those left leg swings. We'll go into our swing palm tree stretch next. So I want you to have your arms down by your sides, feet are still under your hips. And then I just want you to turn your torso to the left and let your arms swing. Just let them be loose, kind of like pendulum arms, turning to the left, and then turn all the way over to the right and let your arms swing again. So just keep your arms loose, kind of let them sway, flop. Kind of a fun exercise. A little bit of twisting of the torso and fun way to let your body relax. Also a very fun name of the stretch, swing palm tree. Make sure we're still taking those big restorative breaths, big inhales through the nose. You can let it all out through your mouth. And we'll go ahead and pause that palm tree. Let our arms relax back down by their sides. And we'll go into some hamstring scoops next. So from this neutral standing position, we'll step the right foot out in front of us, one step width away. Heel's going to plant into the floor. Toes are going to point up to the sky. I'm going to take my fingertips and just trace them down my leg towards my foot or ankle, kind of scooping the leg. And then I'll bring myself back up to standing, Step that right foot back underneath the hip and repeat the movement on the left side. Remember to keep your heel down, toes up. You can really feel that stretch along the entire back side of your leg. Go ahead and alternate between those two sides. Hamstring scoops. I know some of you may be tandem biking this weekend, so make sure we stretch and take care of your hamstring. Just a couple more here. Make sure we're breathing out as we reach down the leg. Inhale as you stand tall. And go ahead and pause those hamstring scoops. Finish the rep you're on. Come back to that neutral standing position. Let's get our hands on our hips. We're going to stir the pot. So let's go ahead and start by going clockwise. We'll push our hips forward, swing them around to the right, back behind us, and over to the left. So we're just drawing a big circle with our hips, keeping our feet planted on the floor. Once again, just breathe. Feel how the weight shifts in the bottoms of your feet. Feel how the muscles around your hips feel. Good, and let's take that pot stir now counterclockwise or to the left. Just switching the direction of that big circle we're drawing. Keeping the feet flat on the floor, just feeling the weight shifting to your toes, sides of your feet, heels. And go ahead and bring your hips back to center in that neutral standing position. And let's do a few of our sun salutations before we get into the deeper stretch holds. So from that neutral standing position, feet under hips, toes forward, I'm going to have you inhale. Take your arms out to the side nice and wide and wave them up overhead from the shoulders. Once you're in this high reaching position, I want you to exhale and forward fold, taking your hands down towards the floor or towards your feet. From there, I want you to half lift. So you'll take your hands to your shins or your knees, and you'll inhale as you flatten your back out. And then you will exhale back into that forward fold, just letting your arms, head, neck, and shoulder hang down. And then I'll have you inhale, standing yourself all the way back up, sweeping your arms out and overhead until your palms meet, come together at the top over your head, and you'll exhale as you lower your hands in front of your face and ending in your chest. And let's go again. Sun salutation, inhale, reaching out and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Kind of pushing your shoulders down. Exhale all the way back into that forward fold. And let's inhale, sweeping the arms out and up. Palms together, exhale, and lower the hands. And one more time here. Let's inhale. Arms sweep out and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, full forward fold. And inhale, sweeping the arms out, overhead, palms together, and exhale, lower them. Wonderful. All right. We'll stay standing up here, but I want you to step your feet outside of your hips nice and wide. We're going to prepare for those Cossack rocks. So once you have a nice wide stance, your toes are pointing forward and slightly outward. I want you to place your hands on your hips and then take a slight small bend in the knees, almost like a quarter squat. And then we're just going to shift that weight over into our right leg, straightening out the left leg, feeling that stretch in the inner left thigh. And then we'll shift back to the middle and all that weight over into our left leg, straightening out the right leg. And let's just alternate, shifting the weight right and left, bending and straightening of the knees. Good. And let's bring ourselves back to center. We can straighten out the knees again. Keeping that wide stance though, we'll do some, side bends while we're holding this wide stance position. So I'll have you start by inhaling, reaching your right arm overhead, fingertips to the ceiling from the shoulder. Left hand's going to go to your left hip, and we're going to reach that right hand overhead and over to the left side. And then we'll go ahead and come back to center. Take that right hand to the right hip. Left arm raises up from the shoulder overhead. And lean over to the right, reaching that left hand over to the right. And back to center. And let's go ahead and just repeat, alternating between the right and left side bends. Make sure we're breathing throughout the exercise. I like to inhale at the center, exhale as you reach for that side bend. Good. And on your next breath, go ahead and bring yourself back to center. And let's step our feet back underneath our hips. From here, I just want you to go into a nice forward fold, exhaling, reaching down towards your feet. And let's just rest here for a second. Let your arms, head, neck, and shoulders hang. You have a small bend in your knees. You might feel that you're able to fold forward a little bit further than during your sun salutations because you're a little more warmed up. Let's just hold this fold. Sounds like Dr. Seuss. And Go ahead and take your hands to your shins and let's roll ourselves up to standing, tracing your fingertips along your legs. Once you come back up to that standing position, I want you to step your left foot out wide. Keep your right foot where it's at. We're going to go into a triangle stretch. So from this wide standing position, I want you to turn your toes to the left. Your left toes to the left, and your right toes are still facing 12 o'clock. Let's take our arms out to the sides from our shoulders. Take a nice big inhale through our nose, and then we'll exhale as we take that left hand down towards our left foot or ankle or shin, and palms are facing 12 o'clock as well. So our right hand has come up towards the ceiling. Our left hand is resting on our left leg. Triangle stretch. Should feel a great stretch, not only in the inner thigh of the left leg, but in that QL muscle that we talk about. That's kind of between your hips and your rib cage. Great stretch in the back. And just breathe. And let's go ahead and inhale as we raise ourselves back up to center standing. You can let your arms fall back down by their sides. Let's step the left foot back in underneath the hips. So we're back in that neutral standing position, starting position. And now let's step our right foot out wide to the right. We'll keep our left toes pointed to 12 o'clock, and our right toes are going to turn out the right to 3 o'clock. Let's go ahead and inhale. Take our arms out to the sides from our shoulders. And then we will exhale as we lean our body, take our right hand down towards our right foot, ankle, or shin. Our left hand will naturally come up to the ceiling from our shoulder. Triangle stretch. Remember to breathe. And let's go ahead and inhale. Rise yourself back up to center standing. You can let your arms fall back down by the sides. Bring the right toes back in and step that right foot back underneath the hips. And let's kind of wash that out. We'll do some shoulder rolls. So stay in that neutral standing position. And I just want you on both sides, both shoulders, shrug those shoulders up towards your ears, and then pull them back behind you like you're putting them in your back pocket and pushing them down to the floor and pushing them ahead. So nice reverse backwards shoulder rolls. Make them as big as they can go. Move all that musculature in your back, in your neck, in your chest. Everything that surrounds and supports the shoulder girdle. And let's go ahead and reverse the direction of those shoulder rolls, taking them forward. And you can go ahead and pause the shoulder rolls. Let's take an inhale and exhale as we take both hands down to the floor, preparing for a down dog stretch. So my hands are both planted, my fingertips are wide, and I'm going to walk my feet back behind me. I'm kind of in a high plank, and then I'm going to push my hips up towards the ceiling, pushing away from my palms and driving the heels down towards the floor. Your feet might be flat or you might be on the balls of your foot. That is okay. If you're on the balls of your feet, go ahead and pedal one heel down at a time, bending the opposite knee of the heel you're pushing down. If this is stressful on your shoulders, you can also do a dolphin stretch where you have the same legs and backside, but you're down on your elbows instead of your hands. And we're going to transition into world's greatest stretch. So I want you to take your right foot and step it between your hands. If you were in dolphin, go ahead and come up to your hands, plant them on the floor, and then bring that right foot between your hands. Left foot stays back behind you on the ball of your foot. World's greatest stretch. You can keep both hands on the floor here and just feel that stretch in your hips. Or you have the option to leave your left hand planted by your foot and take your right hand up towards fingertips towards the ceiling. So kind of turning your chest to the right. Great stretch for the hips and the glutes. And if it starts to get a little difficult, go ahead and drop that back left knee down to the floor so you're in a deep lunge now. And if you haven't already dropped to the deep lunge, go ahead and do so now. We'll bring the right arm back down by the foot. Right hand is back on the floor. Deep lunge stretch. Go ahead and sink your hips down towards the floor and into that front right leg. Great opening of the hip flexors. Make sure we're taking those deep breaths, seeing if with every exhale you can sink a little further down. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and tuck the back left toes, preparing to push back into that downward dog. So we'll take the right foot back to meet the left, push the hips up towards the ceiling, down dog stretch, and we'll switch into that world's greatest stretch now on the left side. So we'll step the left foot between our hands, the right foot stays back, right leg is extended. Option to keep both hands planted on the floor here, or we leave the right hand down, take the left arm and hand up towards the ceiling, turning the chest to the left. You always have that option to drop the back knee. And if you haven't already, Drop that back knee down to the floor. Let's bring that left hand back down to the floor as well. Oh, sorry. Right knee down to the floor. Left hand is down to the floor now. We are in that deep lunge position, trying to sink the hips down into the floor and into that left leg. Taking some nice, deep, restorative breaths. And on your next breath, let's keep the right knee down, planted where it's at, and let's bring the left knee around to meet next to the right knee. Keeping the hands on the floor, we have come to a tabletop position now. So my hands are flat on the floor, fingers are wide, my wrists, elbows, and shoulders are all stacked, and my knees are underneath my hips. My back is flat, my nose is towards the floor. From here, let's do some of our hip mobility cat-cow stretching. So I'll have you start by inhaling, arching the back, tilting the hips up towards the ceiling and taking your nose towards the ceiling. Kind of letting your chest fall down towards the floor. And then I want you to exhale, rounding the back, pushing the hips forward and pushing away from your palms, separating the shoulder blades. And let's alternate between the cat and the cow, keeping the breathing involved, staying focused on the breath. You may even feel a stretch in the abdominals when you're in that cow position. And on your next breath, go ahead and come back to center with a flat back. Nose is back down towards the floor, standard tabletop. And we're going to do a nice calf stretch here from this position. So I'll just have you keeping your left knee planted. I want you to extend your right leg straight back behind you. Right toes are planted in the floor. And I just want you to imagine someone's tied a rope around your ankle and they're pulling that right heel back towards the wall. So kind of pushing that right heel back, stretching those calf muscles. If you want to add a little rock, feel free. So kind of pulling the heel forward, pushing it backwards. If the wrists are starting to get fatigued, you can always drop to your forearms for this stretch. On your next breath, let's bring that right knee back in underneath the hip. And let's extend the left leg back straight behind us. Left toes planted in the floor, left heel towards the sky. And someone is pulling that ankle back away from you towards the wall, stretching the calf muscles. The gastrocnemius, another fun muscle name, is that big part of your calf. And on your next breath, go ahead and bring that left knee back in underneath the hip. We'll keep our knees planted underneath the hips. And let's keep the hips up high where they're at in that half tabletop. And I want you to walk your hands away from your knees as far as you can go, kind of sinking the chest down towards the floor for a puppy stretch, puppy pose. You can always sit into child's pose as well if you prefer that. Or try something new today, puppy stretch. Great for the back and shoulders and the hips. And on your next breath, go ahead and lower yourself all the way down to the floor, lying on your belly. And go ahead and make a little pillow for your forehead. You can stack one hand over the other and rest your forehead there. And let's just shake or wag our hips out. So we'll just shift the hips over to the right and to the left, keeping them on the floor, keeping our legs extended. You're just lying and shaking out the hips. And we can go ahead and pause that movement, come back to center, and we'll stretch the quads. So I'll have you start by taking your right heel towards your right glutes or backside. Option to stop there, or you can always grab a yoga belt, or your right hand can reach around and grab that right ankle and just pull it a little closer to your backside, stretching the front of the right leg or the quadriceps group. You can continue to breathe and relax your head, trying to feel if your glutes are guarding or your lower back, if those muscles tensed up when you went to the stretch. Try to actively relax them. On your next breath, go ahead and release that right ankle. Let that right leg fall back flat to the floor. And let's switch to the other side, bending the left knee, taking left heel towards left glutes, stopping there, or reaching around with your left hand or yoga belt, pulling that left ankle closer to your backside, stretching the left quads. And on your next breath, go ahead and release that left leg. And let's go back to shaking, wagging out the hips. Both legs are straight. And then I want you to bend both knees, taking both feet up towards the sky. And keeping the knees planted, we're just going to do some gentle windshield wipers with your feet. So I just want you to drop both feet over to the right, keeping the knees planted. We don't want to twist too much here. Then we'll come back up to center and drop them both over to the left. And just repeat that movement, gently waving the feet right to left. Kind of a nice massage for the quads as well as they roll over the floor. And on your next breath, you can let both feet fall back down to the floor, and let's roll ourselves onto our back. So now we are in a lying position on our backs. And our legs are still extended long away from us, kind of in that corpse pose. And let's start by taking a big breath in through the nose. And then we're going to raise the right leg up towards the ceiling. Bottom of the right foot is parallel to the ceiling. We can take our hands and interlace our fingers on the back of that right leg. And let's just gently draw a counterclockwise circle with that leg, kind of using our hands, arms to guide it. You can also use a yoga belt here, or even a regular belt or a towel. No need for fancy things. And let's switch the direction, taking that circle counterclockwise, just feeling how that femur, that head of the femur rotates in that hip socket, the femoral acetabular joint. And let's go ahead and bend that knee. The leg is no longer straight. And let's just pull that knee up into our chest. You can keep the hands on the back side of the hamstring, or you can bring them up front to the shin. Anything to just give that knee a big hug, pull it up into your chest. And now we'll add some rotations at the ankle. So we'll draw some clockwise circles with our foot and ankle as we hold this knee hug. And let's switch it counterclockwise, circles, ankle circles. And we can go ahead and pause those ankle circles. Let's bring our left foot flat to the floor, left knee up to the ceiling, setting up for a reclined pigeon or a lying figure four stretch. Left knee's up towards the ceiling. I'm going to take my right ankle, place it on top of that left knee or left thigh. Let my right knee fall out to the side. Reclined pigeon stretch. You can take your hands to your right knee and just gently guide it away from your body. Or if you aren't feeling much there in your hips, you can also take your fingers to the back of your left thigh, lift your left foot off of the floor, and kind of bring that left knee towards your chest for a more intense stretch of the right hip, right glutes. Or you could be like me, who's very sore today, and I just don't have that in me. Every week your body will feel different. Just take some nice, deep, relaxing breaths here. Feel yourself melt into the floor as you hold the stretch. On your next breath, let's go ahead and bring that right knee back up into our chest. Extend the left leg long again. And let's gently turn ourselves over to the left, taking that right knee over as well for that lying twist. We'll gently twist until that right knee comes all the way down to the floor on your left side. And you can either stay here where it's comfortable, or if you want to add a little extra rotation, you can take that right arm out to the right from your shoulder and turn your nose to face your right hand. And this will definitely be one of those stretches where your body wants to guard itself. So try to relax. Active relaxation. If it's really uncomfortable for you to take that knee all the way to the floor, I highly recommend a yoga block or a pillow to kind of make the floor come to you. And on your next inhale, let's go ahead and roll back onto our backs. Let's extend that right leg long again. We can wag or shake out the hips. I like to take the hips up and down. Kind of reset. And now let's take that left leg, straightening it and taking it up towards the ceiling. Our hands will interlace our fingers on the back of our left thigh now and begin to draw those clockwise circles with the left leg. And let's switch those circles counterclockwise. And let's bend that left knee and bring it up into our chest, giving it a big hug. Kind of stretching that hip out. And we'll begin the left ankle circles, taking them clockwise first. And counterclockwise, sorry. Got a little lost in thought. And let's pause the ankle circles. Bring our right foot flat to the floor, right knee up towards the ceiling. Preparing for that reclined pigeon or lying figure four. I'll have you take your left ankle to the top of your right knee or right thigh. Left knee will naturally fall out to the side. Once again, we're using our hands to kind of gently guide that left knee away from our torso for the stretch in our hip, or if you need that more intense stretch, interlacing our fingers on the back of the right thigh, pulling right foot off of the floor, driving right knee towards your chest for that deeper, more intense tissue stretch. Either way is fine. Listen to your body, do what it needs. Again, taking those breaths to relax, finding yourself get a little deeper into the stretch, melting into the floor. On your next breath, let's go ahead and hug that left knee back up into our chest. Extend the right leg long. And then we're going to do that gentle lying twist. Taking the left knee, twisting the torso over to the right side until that left knee comes to the floor on your right side. And if you want that extra rotation twist, you can take the left arm out from the left shoulder and gently turn your nose to face the left hand. And once again, using those supports where needed, yoga blocks, blankets, towels. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and roll back to center. Let that left leg extend back out long, and let's shake our hips up and down. So we're staying lying here, but we'll push our right foot down, bring the left foot up, and switch. So you kind of feel one leg getting longer than the other, kind of feeling how your hips can rise and fall. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and bring both knees up into our chest. Meet them with your hands and give them a big hug. And let's just gently rock left to right as we hold this ball. And let's draw some circles with our knees, clockwise. And counterclockwise. And we can stay on our backs here and continue to roll it out. Or if you'd like to transition to a happy baby stretch, you can grab the bottoms of your feet with your hands. And we'll extend the knees, taking the feet up towards the ceiling. Feet are flat, parallel to the ceiling as we hold on to them and gently rock side to side for happy baby stretch. Great for the inner thighs. Taking just a couple deep breaths here, whether you're in that ball or that baby. And let's let our feet drop flat to the floor, knees up towards the ceiling. And let's gently roll ourselves up to a seated position. Kind of finishing our practice in this seating position today. Seated position. Let's take the bottoms of our feet and bring them together. Let our knees fall out to the sides for a butterfly stretch. And we'll add a gentle twist from here. I'll have you take your right hand, place it behind your back. Your left hand will rest on your right knee. And we're just gently going to rotate our chest and shoulders to the right. Seated butterfly stretch. And let's add some gentle movements of our neck. I'll have you take your right ear down towards your right shoulder, left ear towards left shoulder, kind of as you hold this twisted butterfly. And now let's nod our head up and down. So we'll take our chin to our chest and then the crown of our head to the wall behind us. And nose towards the ceiling. And let's go ahead and bring our head back to center and twist our torso back to center, grabbing our feet with both hands. Taking a big inhale, and then we'll switch sides. I'll have you take your left hand to rest behind your back. Right hand comes to the top of the left knee, gently twisting your shoulders and chest to the left. And let's add those gentle neck stretches again, starting with left ear to left shoulder, right ear to right shoulder. And let's nod our head up and down, chin to chest, nose to ceiling. And on your next breath, go ahead and come back to center. Let's extend your legs out long away from you. For one more forward fold today, I'll just have you take both hands, trace them down your legs towards your feet. Holding this forward fold stretch. And go ahead and take your hands to your shins if they were on your feet. And very slowly, one vertebrae at a time, roll yourself back to upright seated, kind of tracing your hands along your legs until you're sitting up nice and tall and proud. And last but not least, give yourself a pat on the back. Way to finish the week strong. I hope you're feeling stretched and happy and ready to go about the rest of your day. Thank you all.